Strippers of Reddit, what really happens in a private/VIP dance? I worked in a club one summer a few years back. My favorite memory was the time a guy bought a full hour of my time, and at one point, Wow by Post Malone came on while I was dancing for him in the VIP room. I always used to mouth along the words when my back was turned, cause I'm a sing while you work kinda person. I heard the guy quietly singing along and turned around to face him. We ended up singing along to the song together, while I was dancing naked for him. I always think of that time whenever I hear that song now, lol. Kinda sounds like the beginning of a love story, oddly enough. And that, everybody, is How I Met Your Mother. Thank goodness it didn't take 10 seasons. Right, just took a strip club, a specific guy with money, a very specific gal, and a perfectly placed Post Malone song. Depends on the girl. I once had a guy who wanted me to punch slap and put my 6-inch heel in his balls. I tried but just couldn't do it. I said he needed a hug, but I went and found him this real mean girl so he could get what he wanted. Team player. Teamwork makes the dream work. I was a stripper in the past, and I once had a man spend 2 champagne half hours, $500 half, for me to tell him about myself, what my future plans were, etc. etc. Also had a different dude pay me $50 to sniff my armpits. Then paid me $50 more to go downstairs to the locker room, wipe off my deodorant, and let him smell them again. I had an armpit fetish guy too. The entire time we talked he just kinda kept his hands in my armpits and would smell his hands occasionally. I didn't dance with him, but a guy did pay me $50 to give me a foot rub and lick my toes, and that was weird. Superstar. An older friend of mine paid for a private dance for me when I was just about to finish high school in Germany, just turned 19 at the time. The stripper was so pretty, it blew my young and inexperienced mind. When she took my hand and led me to the backstage room, she kept turning around, looking at me and giggling from time to time. I must have been like a deer in the headlights to her, and she enjoyed it, to say the least. I was the most harmless, innocent and smitten little boy ever, and I could tell it boosted her confidence to no end. Rightfully so. Back then I had never seen a woman this pretty with that little clothes on. At least not in real life. The lap dance was pretty wild. She eventually finished me by sitting on my lap and grinding on me until it all went into my pants. She even continued after the music stopped because she wanted to ruin my night, I guess. Even grabbed my face and made me look at her until I came. Gave me a hug and a kiss on the cheek afterwards and giggled like a schoolgirl when I left. Spent 10 minutes in the bathroom cleaning myself and then went home blushing all the way back. Worth it though. Edit, sorry people, apparently I double posted by accident. Edit 2, thanks for the awards. She even continued after the music stopped because she wanted to ruin my night, I guess. Ducking, hilarious. Enjoyed this story. Mate, that one sent me spinning. Seriously. You kind of want to come, but you also kind of don't because you don't want to mess up your pants. You keep alternating between these feelings, then the music stops. You are disappointed first, then relieved. At least you won't cream yourself. Then you see the look in her eyes and realize that she is going for it regardless. Complete roller coaster. So you're telling me I should wear an adult diaper and just let her go to town? So from what I'm reading, it's like a sexual loot crate. Pay money first, then see what you get. EA reading this, write that down. Write that down.
EA, escorts.
It's in the Babe. I was about 19, my buddy and I went to a local club to hang out and watch pretty naked girls dance. One girl really caught my eye, she noticed and offered to take me to VIP. Once back there we chatted the whole time. She was really sweet and we totally hit it off. As our time was finishing up, she asked me if I would consider being her personal bodyguard for some parties. Of course I said yes. We went to one in particular, a group of volunteer firefighters, and she made great money. I got paid 10%. While I was there, the guys convinced me to go to EMT school. I made enough money that night to enroll in the next class and spent the next 15 years working as an EMT. Edit, wow. Did not expect this to blow up. Thank you for all the awards, upvotes, and comments. So just to follow up, I lost contact with the dancer shortly after that. She made some really good money that night and may very well have made a career change herself. I'm not even sure I ever got her real name. I mentioned in the comments, if you know a woman, She'd be in her 50s now, that used to work at Deja Vu in Federal Way, who worked a firefighter party with a guy she met at work as her bodyguard. Please tell her thank you for me and I think about her often. So the answer to what happens in the VIP room is sometimes opportunity and good life decisions. Sometimes. I lost contact with her afterwards and never got to say thank you. So if any of you know a woman, now in her 50s, who used to work at Deja Vu and worked a party of firefighters with a random guy she asked to be her bodyguard, please tell her I remember her and I'm always grateful. Most of the time private dances are just stripping down until you're naked and grinding on their junk. Some guys fixate on a certain body part and want to see that mostly. Motor boating was a big hit, lol. Like some guys like boobs, booties, or feet. It's honestly whatever the customer wants and the dancer is willing to do. Of course there are club rules that need to be followed. I was a dancer about 10 years ago and for the most part I enjoyed it. A guy once paid me $100 to kick him as hard as I could in his balls. Another guy paid me $100 to sniff a line of coke off my ass. Another guy liked when I did circles with my finger around his nipples and paid $1,000 over 6 months to do so. Another guy paid me $50 to smell my feet and to put them on his face. These are examples off the top of my head, there are many more I'm forgetting. Another guy liked when I did circles with my finger around his nipples and paid $1,000 over 6 months to do so. What's Jim Norton like in real life? More importantly, another guy paid me $50 to smell my feet and to put them on his face. How's Quentin Tarantino in real life? My roommate, who was a stripper, used to have a regular who just wanted her to grind her high heels into his junk. According to her, private dances run from not much happens to sex. Depends on the bar, depends on the dancer. She, herself, mostly had regular customers who came in to have somebody to hang out with. Basically, she sat half-dressed or naked, and just chatted. She still came home outraged a lot of the time because somebody had offered her a few $100 for sex of some sort. Some of her friends, if the offer was enough, would go further. Further than sex? What am I missing out on? Have you not tried sex too? Edit, I think I've gotten about 100 messages just from people making the same electric boogaloo joke. Sex 2 was great, but they jumped the shark with Sex 3. You guys are still on Sex 3? You should really check out Sex 4, A New Hope. They ruined it with the special edition. Can we pretend the holiday special never existed? Ho-ho-hos everywhere. You have to tell the customer how you feel about their screenplay. So they really do spit on your face and crush your balls. Had a dancer give me her faux recipe once. That was weird. And it wasn't a particularly good recipe. That's weird. As a Vietnamese person, that is very interesting thing for someone to just be giving out the recipe. I don't see enough people appreciate PH how they should. Interesting. The only club I've worked at where anything more was done regularly is now shut down. Everywhere else, the private dances were full contact but sex was rare and risky. Full contact, okay, I'll be the innocent pigeon opening up his wings into the world. How full is full? Full contact. You ever watch hockey? I imagine it's a lot like that. Yes, except you only get a penalty after you go into the box. Not a stripper, but had a friend who was for a few years. She had a regular who would buy an hour in the VIP room just so he can have the girls act like he was a dog. Not really degrading, just more he was the loved family dog. He tipped very very well and said she never even had to take off her cloths or touch him aside from pats on the head. Something tells me the poor fella doesn't get much affection. Yeah, this is weirdly wholesome. He probably thinks of the dog as being a non-threatening entity. My guess would be guy just wants to forget about work, life and all cares. Think about it, a well-loved family dog with none of the stress and all of the unconditional affection probably lives a good life. Heck, even I am tempted to have a go at role-playing to be a beloved family dog for a while after looking at things that way. Lol, not enough to pay a stripper for it, but can definitely grasp the appeal though. Edit, my most updated comment is about empathizing with the appeal of role-playing a beloved family dog. Just when I thought my life can't get any weirder, haha facepalm. Some of you on the comments have reading comprehension issues at the very least. Just because I can appreciate the appeal of skydiving, it doesn't mean I want to try skydiving, much less that it is my kink. Lol. The same can be said of my original comment. Who's the good boy?